Hello YouTube, welcome to Curious Me channel. This is Shabazz Khan, and in this video we will learn about route guards. Well, what are route guards? Route guards is a way of validating your routes in an Angular application. Why is that helpful? Well, if you have a route that needs a certain user role to be accessed, you can achieve that using route guards. A word of caution, route guards is not a replacement for your server-side validation. That will still be there, but route guards are very helpful when you want to control your routes in a client side. So let's go ahead and see with an example what I mean. So this is a very simple application, and this application is a continuation of what we built in our first part of this video. So if you don't know, the link is in the description down below. You can go ahead and check that out, and also the link is here, that is top right corner. So these are three navigations: home, news, and blog. All right, so let's go ahead and inspect element to bring our dev console. Now let's go to storage, and inside storage there is one local storage. Let's go ahead and open that. Let's add a particular token, and let's go ahead and refresh this page. So as soon as I give a valid value of this token, I can see that I have an admin panel which says admin panel works. So before adding this token, let me just remove this. Before adding this token, I do not have access to this. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how I have achieved this. So let's go ahead and open Visual Studio Code, the editor of our choice. Now these are all the things that we did in our first video. So in our components, let's go ahead and create a few components and few different folders. So first of all, let me go ahead and create an admin panel component. All right, so once our component is created, let's go ahead and create a few folders in our app directory. So we'll create a few folders in here. Let's go ahead and create a first folder, and let's call it service. Okay, I misspelled that. Let me just correct it. Let's go ahead and create another folder and call this guards. And in this folder, we'll place all our route guards. So first of all, let's go ahead and create our services. All right. Now in our service, let's go ahead, right click on this, open in terminal. And let's go ahead and create our very first service, and we'll name that authentication service. Once our service is created, you will see these two files, and inside the second file, the TypeScript file, you will see that there is one injectable. And so in here we'll write our code which will simply verify what our authentication is, or we'll write a program to authenticate a user. So let's go ahead and write something, a very simple function. Okay, so this is the function that I have written. It's a very simple function. This function's name is authenticated. It is of type Boolean. So what it does is it checks the local storage for a token, for a key. So currently my key is token. Okay, so it will check and find whether there is a token present or not, and it will return if there is a token present. So this will be true, and the length of that should be greater than 0. So if both these conditions are true, then and then only this particular function will return true. You can have any code, any authentication code in here. This is very simple. This is just checking for a key token. That's it. What you can do is you can place a JWT inside this token, and you can write all the time expiration validation function. You can check for roles, everything right here. All right, so now let's go to our guards folder, right click on this and open in new terminal. Simply let's go ahead and use our Angular CLI ng g means guard. Let's just say admin page. So once you click on that, you will be presented with three options. First will be can activate child, and can load. For the simplicity of this tutorial, we will go with can activate, and can activate can be used with a multitude or a various situations. So let's go ahead and use can activate, hit enter. Once you hit enter, you will again see two files. One is a file used for testing, another one is your TS file. Now inside this TS file, there is one error. You might face it or you might not, but in my case I always get this implements, and after this implements there is nothing. So basically what you want to add here is can activate. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, I did. Okay, let's go ahead and add a space and write can activate. Now once can activate is done, you'll have to implement it. So let's go ahead and see what it wants us to implement. Okay, so it says that these two things are required. Now let's go ahead and define the constructor for this component. Let's go ahead and type ctor, remove the super, we don't need it right now. First we will make use of our authentication service that we created. Now let's go ahead and write the function which we will use. Alright, so this is the function that I have written, can activate. Now can activate simply uses our auth service and returns whatever the value of the authentication is. Now our guard is ready. Let's go ahead and use our guard in any one of our routes. Now you remember that we have created this admin panel. So this is the admin panel, which in our case should only be visible to users having a token. So let's go ahead and go to our app routing module, and inside this module let's go ahead create a path. Now in this path we'll say whenever there is an admin, give me admin panel component. Alright, now before that what we want to do is we want to say can activate. Now inside this can activate we will use our guard. What guard? Our auth admin page, admin page guard. So this particular route means that whenever there is an admin in path, go to this class, go to this function and check whether this returns true or false. Okay, and when that returns true, then only load this component, otherwise don't load this component. Okay, so that's it. I think we have covered all the parts that we need to create a simple guard to guard our routes. Let's go ahead and serve this. Let me remove all these terminals but the first one. Now let's go ahead and build this application and serve it. Alright, so my application is now live. Let's go ahead and open localhost 4200. Alright, so now you can see that admin panel is not present. Why? Because we have not yet added it to our app component.html. Yes. Okay, so this is the link that I have added, my navigation link. Now save this. Now here you can see that one admin blob is added, one admin link is added. Now let's go ahead and click on that. See, if I'm clicking on admin and nothing is happening, I'm clicking on admin and nothing happens, clicking on admin, nothing happens. Why? Because currently in my storage, in local storage, there is no token. And what we have written here is, let me just go back and show you guys. Inside our authentication service is that it checks from local storage the value of token. And let me repeat that you can write any kind of code you want in here to validate the user or the access level that the user has, and then return true or false depending on that validation that you found. And after that, this service is used in the guards, and the guards that make use of this service returns this value directly from that service. Now we use that guard in our app routing module to guard our routes. Alright, so presently even if I click on this, nothing will happen. Why? Because there is no token. Let's go ahead and add a token and see what happens. Let's go ahead and since we have not did any checks what we want that token to be, we can just leave it the value and it will still work fine. Let's go and refresh this. And now if I'll click on admin, you'll see that here you can see that admin page works will display or something like that. See, now it works, admin panel works. So okay, let's go ahead and add a check for a better idea. Let's go to authentication service and just add a few things. Alright, so this is the very small change that I made. What I did is I got the value of this key, which is token, and check whether this value is admin or not. That's it. So it checks whether this is null. If this is not null, then check whether this is the value of this ls is equal to admin or not. Okay, so let's save this. And now let's go ahead and click on admin and see nothing happens. Why? Because our token value here is value and it is not admin. Let's go ahead and change that to admin and see what happens. And let me go ahead and just refresh this. Let's click on admin and now you'll see that admin works. So this is a way of implementing a route guard, and you can also use this service to hide this particular admin for particular user. So let me go ahead and show that to you. Let me open app component.ts. Alright, so inside the app component, what I have done is I have declared a variable which is of type boolean, and I have injected my auth service, and then at the time of initialization of this app component, what I'm doing is I'm checking whether this user is authenticated or not. Or basically what I'm doing is I'm calling this service is authenticated method and assigning that value to this is authenticated variable which I have declared locally. Now I'll go and use this is let me just save this first. Now I'll just copy this is authenticated and I'll go ahead and open the app component.html, and I'll just go ahead and simply write here ng if. So basically what I did is, let me just expand this. Okay, so basically what I did is I took that is authenticated from there and used it here. So if the user is authenticated as an admin, then and then only he will be able to see this link. Otherwise he won't be able to see this link also. So let me just save this, let this refresh, and you'll see this admin. Why? Because the value is already there. Let me just go ahead and remove this admin from here, and let me just refresh this. You'll see that there is no admin. It won't be visible because the user is not validated, or according to our guard, the user does not have a token which contains an admin tag. Let me just go ahead and add admin again, and you will see that that link will show up and we will be able to click on it. So this was very simple. We just added to admin here, right? You can also have a JWT, Java, I think JSON web tokens. So what JSON web tokens here, you will get a JSON web token from your API, right? And you can use all these JWTs inside your authentication service right here to check whether that JWT has a valid timestamp, has a valid user, and all those sort of things, and return true or false based on your JWTs. A word of caution, this is only for client side. All right, if a hacker or anyone has a URL of this admin, he can directly send a request to your web server. So server side authentication is a must. This is not a replacement for your server side. This is just a control for your client side. All right, so this is it for this video. See you guys on the next video. Till then, have a great day ahead. Bye bye.